Evan. Okay, our first panel is Evan Jones, Yomi, Ayeni, Blair, Erickson, Elan, Lee, and Lance Weiler. They're going to be talking about ARGs and extended media experiences.
Get this back on time. Here we are, 9:15, right on the dot. Thank you guys for being brief and catching us up to time. That is, if Jonathan can fold properly.
I got a case of the Mondays.
Very impressive.
No one's staring at you right now.
No, that's fine.
Gonna be nervous.
I don't like to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
We're rolling, right?
Just keep it in check.
All right, wonderful. Well, as I said to all of our panelists, I have no concerns today because there's a lot of topics that came up yesterday in a 1 hour discussion. Hard to cut it short to an hour, so we'll try and pack it all into a concentrated 45 minutes and see where we go. I am going to start off with a brief introduction, and we'll go down the line, and everyone can introduce themselves that way, and we'll jump right into it after that. My name is Evan Jones. I'm the owner of Stitch Media, and worked on a bunch of different alternate reality games, way back to Regenesis and Ocular Effect and things like that. But now with Stitch Media, have just recently worked on the Holomove project, which had the post-game chat yesterday, and that was wonderful. Thanks everyone for showing up. And then also collaborated with this guy down at the end, doing some work on the Sarah Connor Chronicles this year. So it's been a busy year, and really excited to be here. This is my third or fourth alternate reality gaming festival, so a lot of familiar faces. We'll share. Awesome.
Elan Lee. I worked on a bunch of alternate reality games. I worked on the Beast, I Love Bees, 9 Inch Nails, Dark Knight, stuff like that. Founder of 42 Entertainment, former creative director over there, founder of E-Doc Laundry, founder of Fourth Wall Studios. So been in this industry for a while now.
My name is Lance Weiler. I'm a filmmaker primarily. I've made 2 feature films, The Last Broadcast and a movie called Head Trauma. Self-distributed both of those films all over the world. And I've been doing a number of gaming things around my movies, so extending the story worlds for them and doing all kinds of crazy theatrical live events and remixes and interesting things like that.
My name's Yomi Ayeni. I'm from the UK. Currently working on Violet Stream. Background, broadcast journalist, produced news for the BBC. Stumbled into reality television, created the first interactive reality television show as far back as '99, and picked up a broadcast award, and then followed it on. I guess my latest incarnation is fusing all the things I've known and bringing it to the ARG table.
Cool. I'm Blair Erickson. I'm creative director at a company called Millions of Us, and relative newcomer in the ARG space. Started last year with bringing World Wrestling Entertainment into a sort of alternate reality experience on a forum called Gaia Online. And then recently partnered with Evan, working on Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles. But a lot of my experience comes actually in virtual reality experiences, doing stuff for the new product, Google Lively, if you've seen that just launched, helping them craft that product and creating experiences for that, as well as I can now talk about PlayStation Home. Our company's the exclusive developer on that, so we did get to a lot of work creating experiences in a lot of different reality spaces.
So what we really came to yesterday in our discussion was that there are a lot of different, I mean, the name of this panel is about extending And that nuance from it is, you know, taking something that's already existing and bringing it into this alternate reality gaming sphere. And I know that each person has specific examples, and I hope that we'll be able to get through each of them. One of the things that I would love to do is maybe we can reverse it and start with Blair there at the end, and ask you to describe sort of specifically what it was that you were extending into the alternate reality game space. And then from that, if you don't mind talking about some of the things that came up of you know, how you dealt with that extension as opposed to a standalone project.
Sure. The first project we were working with was World Wrestling, and it's just one of those properties where it just doesn't seem to fit at all into how do you create an alternate reality experience with World Wrestling, and how do you translate that brand, because it's not, there's no government conspiracy, there's no giant threat to the nation or of any kind with wrestling. It's just guys who are really big punching each other. So we tried to figure out what is, you know, what's the brand and what is the core extension of that brand. And we realized it was really just, you know, people really love to fight and they love to watch other people fight. Unfortunately, the internet is actually a great place for that. So what we figured out was we created a sort of celebrity appearance where John Cena was talking to all these fans. And John Cena is this really famous wrestler, if you ever watch it. And he's talking to these fans, and something that pretty much would happen anyway on the internet is a guy starts yelling at him that he sucks and that he should, you know, retire from wrestling because he's horrible, and that he wants to go to his house and kill him. And it's the internet, so half the kids are like, "Ha, right on, man," and the other half are like, "Stop embarrassing us in front of our celebrity guest," and stuff. So we had the administrators of the site look like they banned him, and then the guy suddenly unbanned himself, and people were like, "What's happening? And how's this guy hacking the site?" The next thing you know, he's banning the administrators, and then he's like, "I'm taking over the forum," and all of a sudden, half the kids like divided because half of them were like, "I love this guy. He's so awesome. Like he's destroying the site, and he's, you know, stopping this celebrity," and then the other half were like, "You must not do this," and sort of created this little split down the center. And we played this out over the course of like a week and a half. And then we revealed that the identity of course, the mystery hacker was this evil wrestler named Randy Orton. And all the kids started picking sides and started cheering and making banners about which one they supported, and it created this whole little experience, and it played out over the course of, I think, 100,000 different threads through this forum. And by the end of it, it came down to this sort of face-off between the two guys, and then it ended with, okay, now you have to turn on the TV to SummerSlam on pay-per-view, and then they walked out on stage in real life and then beat the hell out of each other. So that was kind of the punchline to the campaign, and it actually was a really big engagement as far as like a lot of the kids participated, a lot of kids got really excited, and a lot of people who never thought they were into wrestling suddenly just got sucked in and really wanted to know who was going to win, which it was John Cena, if you really care. But so that was a really unusual approach, I think, and it sort of was a proof of concept that you could do an alternate reality experience that wasn't just with a brand that was very serious and very, I'd say, I don't know, intellectually rich. So you could actually have a fun brand and do sort of unusual things with it. And with Terminator, that was sort of a whole different, much more serious, I think, franchise where you really had to delve deep into the mythology of Skynet and Cyberdyne and all those sort of things, but then figure out, okay, so how can we do that in such a way where we can tell a story that sort of coincides with the TV series without directly stepping on what their story is, because they have a very clear path and we didn't want to, you know, get in the way too much. So with that, we just looked at, okay, how can we bring the future into the present, which was the company invents a camera which apparently might be able to take imagery that could be the future and let people debate whether that's real or not, and then slowly start to unfold what the future scenario is over the course of the campaign. So that was actually a really fun engagement as well. But I think with both of them, it really was just about figuring out what is the right tone of voice for the brand and what is the right approach, and then from that, just exploring a storyline that made sense from that.
Great, thanks. Yomi?